Hey guys, if you love QF's content on our free Sundays and Thursday sessions, then please visit our Patreon page in the description and sub to the Black Kluge tier or higher for full access to not only our bonus weekly Tuesday night shows and the alternate Sunday shows you've been missing, but also to the exclusive episodes not available to the lower tiers. It's roughly the price of one coffee a month, and nobody at Starbucks will make you laugh like we do for that kind of scratch. In addition, when you sub to the Black Kluge tier, you'll get 2 weeks advance access to each Thursday session on Patreon before it makes it to YouTube.
You know, nowadays, because there are podcasts and everybody's podcasting and on the radio, everybody now thinks they know how to do radio, they know how to do talk, they know how to do... But you've never gone on a radio station and had to get ratings. It's nonsense what you're doing, sitting in your house with your podcast. Don't listen to the noise of the internet. I listen to the morons who sit and comment on my show. They don't know what's in my brain. They haven't had a career for over 40 years. They don't have a clue. They're sitting at home living with their parents in a basement somewhere writing about me. Use your fucking head.
I mean, I guess it's good for people who just want to be on the radio, but there were a lot of really bad broadcasters who got weeded out by the system. Now they don't get weeded out anymore.
Oh, no.
If they've got 10 listeners, they're happy with it, and they do these shows, and they get their friends to come on.
I've been doing this a long time. I'm somewhat jaded, I guess. You know,
Jaded in what sense?
in the sense that I'm no longer captivated by the microphone now that everyone has one in their basement. So, you know, the idea of, you know, everybody having access to my job is a little annoying and doesn't exactly get me. I wasn't excited about the job beforehand, and now I'm really not excited. The medium was supposed to be just for a select few people who get on radio stations. What's happened is now everybody has access, and I don't like it. I mean, it's just annoying. Used to be special being on the radio. Now I'm just a douche. I literally go to parties, and I'll meet some woman there. She go, "What do you do?" I go, "I'm on the radio." There she goes, "Oh, I have a radio show." It's so fucking annoying, I can't even tell you. Those guys, you know, which gets me crazy because I spent that entire career in radio for nothing. I should have just been broadcasting out of my house this time. You see, Haktua got a podcast.
I can't imagine what that's going to be about.
I got a tape I can play of where she's entering her studio, and it's going to annoy the fuck out of you because it took us 40 years to get a great studio, and Haktua appears to have a better studio than we do. You know, and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, you have a radio show?" I just interviewed the Vice President, Kamala Harris, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I did too. I did it in my bedroom."
Yeah, I did
oh, really?
too.
Okay.
Call Me Daddy's my show. Right.
Yeah. I just did it on Call Me Daddy. What is that? Everywhere I went, they were like, "Heard you on, what was that show I did this summer?" With the three guys.
Smartless?
Smartless.
Yeah.
Heard you on Smartless. I go, Smartless?
Welcome, ladies and gents, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm Phil Moore, your host, a.k.a. Jim Fix, and with me back again on the wrap-up show beat is Mr. Len Young. How are you, sir?
Not great, but things are hard, aren't they, at the moment?
Listen, Liverpool's sucking. Montreal's doing really well. I just lost to fucking PAOK and Olympiacos in the span of 3 weeks. I'm 1-2 with my teams right now, but the Toronto Blue Jays are losing in the World Series, so I'm happy about that.
Well, that's not bad. That's something.
Yeah,
I might have to. I have to figure out a new way of kind of using my spare time at the weekends now. And I, do you know what I looked at the other day? I bought a fucking Android tab. Bought this great Android tablet just for watching football on.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, that was a fucking waste of money. What am I going to do with that now?
For those of you who don't know, Liverpool's lost like 4 in a row in the Premier League.
5 in the last 6. It's unprecedented.
That's right. It's one of the worst like losing Jags in a while.
They're the reigning champions, and they're playing like a relegation team.
Yeah. And they're 7 points behind Arsenal, who are actually in tip-top shape. However, they did beat Arsenal in one game, and it's, you know, with a couple of fuck ups and one win on the return, and you never know. There's still a lot of football to play, but I see it as unlikely.
You have to in life, in sport, and everything, you have to make the most of the moments you have. And when you're winning and flying high, and when your rival teams are losing, you have to enjoy it and you have to celebrate it, because it can go south very quickly,
Big time.
painfully quickly.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, we're going to wrap up show segment from August 1st, 2007, I believe. Again, I don't know when these, some of them are cataloged a certain way, the way I got the clips, in other ways, I don't know if it's January 8th or August 1st, but I believe it's August because it's right before, it seems like a summary type of clip. And in it, there's a couple things, it's good fodder for discussion because Sal throws Gary under the bus, and at one point they talk about him having thrown Stuttering John under the bus, which leads to a Stuttering John discussion where Ralph calls in, Artie and him start going at it about John's way he left the show, and it'll lead us into eventually a Stuttering John saga where we discuss that whole period of him wanting to talk to Howard and not getting the okay, and then making the deal, and then being told, "Why didn't you fucking come to me when I wouldn't have you in?"
There's a lot of throwing under buses. There's a line of buses driving up to the studio. What was the thing that I already said one time? They're in a bus big enough to throw this under now.
Yeah, basically. So here we go, guys.
What are you talking about? Whore fucker. Ever since JD hold on. Ever since JD banged this whore, I mean, he's got this arrogant, pompous personality. He don't even say hello to us anymore.
Oh, bullshit. Shut up.
I'm telling you.
You should be the one.
God almighty.
JD, wait, because one of the things we're going to talk about from today's show is people who take credit for things that they don't necessarily deserve, or people who want everyone to know that they deserve credit for something.
Did I ever tell you how much I contributed?
Let him hold. Shut up.
Those bits that we did years and years.
Terrible. Get him out of here. Scott, go fix the console inside, please. Get out of here.
Anyway, getting back to JD.
Who's arrogant again?
As you two squabble here. JD, do you think that Sal and Scott, you could take them individually if you want, sort of make it know, like they want everyone to know how much they're doing, or they have some type of attitude when it comes to that?
I don't know. I guess so. I mean, I know Sal definitely likes to get credit for anything he's involved with. Scott, I don't know so much. I think he's just bothered to have any work to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't like doing anything.
Scott, you're shaking your head there.
He'd be happy with no credit whatsoever.
I don't
Scott just doesn't want to be seen or heard.
That's right. Just leave me the fuck alone, and I'm happy.
That's a smart thing to do on that
Absolutely.
show. Yeah. Staying out of harm's way. Wayne and I just covered an episode. Well, we covered the very famous, the iPad was a bit of a thumbleball. Considering you were talking about your Android tablet, and Louis going on the Geraldo and saying, like, I just don't see who this is for. Like, what kind of fucking idiot? Like, now, mind you, back then I remember thinking the iPad would be a massive waste of money because you would always wait for the next generation of something to come out, not the first that they're working on. But there are always people who need the first of everything that comes out. I don't know if that's so much true anymore, but it used to be such a tech race. Yeah.
Oh, I used to be like that. I was a fucking retard for that stuff. I'm so stupid. And I'm so angry about it. But this was when I was single. I had a bit of disposable income. I had the first iPad. I got an iPhone shipped over from America, right? Listen to this. So I get the iPhone on eBay from America, right? This fucking thing arrives. By the time it arrives, I put my SIM card in. It doesn't work.
Because it was the factory.
So I had to wait. I had to wait for it to be jailbroken, and then I got it working. And it was back then. Within 6 months of it coming out, it was already like slowing down. And when the second version of the software came out, it didn't run properly. And what you're essentially doing is subsidizing. You're beta testing and subsidizing future users. That's all you're doing. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And now I'm the opposite. Now every time I buy, I have an iPhone here, and when the battery goes on that, I'll just replace it. I'm not going to bother, because it's such incremental changes now. Anyway, the whole product has matured. There's nothing new really anymore. It's like a few extra. There's something AI now is the big thing they're pushing.
Yeah, the landscape of the ecosystem is actually way different than it used to be. Like, there's no more quantum developments unless the thing turns into a Swiss Army knife and comes with a bottle opener and everything else, a nail file, something like that. There's no real there's no real reason to upgrade. I mean, I'm going to upgrade one. I've got a Note 10 Plus that I want to put in. I said we were talking about it before. Want to put it in, make money into a Galaxy S24 Ultra. And someone said, well, why don't I get the 25? And like, well, there's no earthly business. I should be spending another $500 on top of it, or $400 for the S25 Ultra, because they both get the same level of same number of updates.
Yeah, well, I read something somewhere. A lot of users were pissed off with the S25 because it was such a small upgrade. There was nothing in it. Yeah. And you feel like saying to either them or to Samsung and Apple, lads, you need to ditch the yearly, releases. You need to make it every 2 years now or 3 years when you actually have something worthwhile of an upgrade, The only thing I can see being an upgrade that sometimes I'd like is the camera. Because the camera I have is like, sometimes a new one comes out and they've got 48 megapixel, they've 3 lenses. There's even though it's just a camera phone, it is handy. Oh, yeah. So, but I replaced the battery in an iPhone 11 here. I did it a few weeks ago, and it took about half an hour. And you need to have a steady hand because the screws are so small. Yep. But it's only 40 quid for the battery and the parts and the tools. So
brand new life.
I do the same with a coffee. I have a coffee machine downstairs that I open up and fix. But it's funny. This is a coffee machine. It was 400 quid, and there's an 800 euro one I was looking to get. Ooh. And when I read up about it, someone took it apart and basically said the internals are all the same. Yeah. It's the same brew unit, same heater, same pressure, same everything. So the coffee is the same. Yep. You just have a different display on the fucking thing. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry for that.
No worries. Welcome to Coffee Talk.
Is that true? I mean, honestly, do you really not want to be seen or heard?
No. Yes. That's not true.
Sal, let him answer.
Well, if that was the case, I would never be on the show. I mean, I wouldn't be there.
Or invited to things.
And I don't necessarily want credit for a lot of things. I mean, I've done so much shit over the years that I don't get credit for.
You don't want credit because credit leads to work. That's why. You're afraid that if you get credit for something, you have to keep the ball of work rolling.
Fudge my way through over 20 years of not doing anything, right?
Yes, you have, somehow.
Yeah, somehow, but things got done somehow.
Jason, please shed some light on this. Do you think that's true? Do you think that certain people want the credit to be known while others don't on the show?
I don't know if somebody doesn't want their credit, but there are certain people who definitely want their credit. And Sal and Richard are the two biggest credit whores.
I agree, but
I mean, to the point where they stop guests and say, "Hey, I did this," so the guests will know what bits they did.
That's not a good look, but I will say I don't blame them considering how little they were getting paid.
Yeah. I mean, now I would expect them to be more that way inclined, considering they never get on the air. Mm-hmm. But back then they were on the air all the time. But they were always looking for credit. Sal was looking for credit for his black haunted house bit that he did.
Oh, that was something else.
It is Halloween, it's a good.
He did so. Every one of his bits was not everyone, but 90% of his bits were centered around like black racism, racism towards black African Americans. And I remember thinking at the time, this guy really has a one-track mind when it comes to this stuff. And also it dominates so much of his thinking that it's almost like brainwashing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's totally preoccupied with race.
Yes.
Especially black people. That's from his childhood, I think. But we all remember the famous prank call of, "Hello, my name's Lamar."
Yeah. I'm an African-American woman, man. That was, but also like he was a rapper. Like he tried to put a rap record together. What was his name again?
It's something G.
The candy rapper.
Wasn't that something G or
not Cool G?
Something G. And he had a song about
G-Man or something.
G-Man, that was it. And he had a song about John Gotti. Free John Gotti. Shake.
We may have to play that story one time because he talked about how he got fleeced by this guy. We're gonna make a great record.
This is so hot.
Yeah. It's on a human interest level. It endears Sal because he basically got taken in like a lot of other young kids thinking we're going to make it. Just do this.
You're going to be the next. Yeah. And apparently he said like I went to some studio, like someone from Journey was there. Or
he said like the keyboardist from Journey was there. Or Foreigner,
he's in on the scam.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely would agree with Jason because, you work for the show, you want to impress Howard and stuff. But lately, if you notice, I've totally, since Gary's been bashing us for the past 6 months about this credit issue. So I haven't said one thing about credit for anything. Howard puts our bits on the air. He announces who it is, and that's it. And everybody makes their own conclusion.
Wait a minute.
Who gives a shit about credit anymore?
You said you were that way because you want Howard to be impressed.
Right. And that was my own psychosis. And then I realized that, the guy's comfortable, so everybody's happy.
These guys have the opposite thing, though. Sal, actually, because when something goes bad, he's the first one to deflect the credit right off him. Like, that wasn't my bit, that was Louis C.K.'s bit that I stole.
Yeah.
Or,
That's the most obnoxious thing I've ever heard.
That works like a gem. No. I learned that from the show.
Now, Sal, you took Artie's seat today. You and Artie seem to have this little thing going back and forth, these slight digs. I don't know.
No. Well,
what's going on there?
The way I get under Gary's skin.
Yes, Sal.
The way I get under Gary's skin, Artie has a great way of getting under my skin.
Do I really?
No, sometimes.
See, I didn't know that.
No, your jabs, and what the problem with me is that I'm not the brightest guy in the world, so it takes me like maybe an hour and a half to realize like where Artie's coming from. Because the truth of the matter is, Artie's like really, really generous and helpful to me. And, if he really thought I was a backstabbing phony, he would want nothing to do with me. So the way that I joke about Gary and then I say it's a joke and then Artie jokes about me and says it's a joke, it's a joke. I mean, that's how I take it. I don't take Artie seriously, but he does get under my...
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he wasn't kidding about being stupid.
That was quite the hypothesis.
That was, yeah.
That was Benedict Cumberbatch in what was that movie he did? The one about the code breaking. What was it called?
Oh, Bletchley Park. Yeah, the guy Alan Turing.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
I forget the name of it now.
I can remember. I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. But
yeah, it's a great story. Like,
oh yeah, big time.
Very sad.
Yeah. So Sal, the it's a joke thing is very much what Howard would say. Like, we were joking. It's all, what if it's all for nothing. But it's such a shitty, stupid, awful, lame defense when it's indefensible. And Sal will go he's General Custer. He will fight to the end. He does not want to be proven wrong, even though he's got nowhere left to go.
One of the great, I think we covered it. One of the great ones when he tried to, he realized he'd screwed up with the speech about Beth, with the basically saying she's your gift to you, for all your years of great radio.
I don't know if we covered it because we got the Dominic thing, but I don't think we actually got the Sal stuff. I can't remember.
I can't remember, but he tried to rationalize it, and in trying to do that, he just showed how he's even worse than the clip alluded to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He thinks he can talk his way out of anything.
No,
and
he can't.
He can't.
He really is like that scene in Dirty Work, the first scene where the car lot and all the hookers, the dead hookers, start opening up from the trunks, and the guys like, turn those cameras off. That's Sal. Like, you didn't see what you just saw.
Yeah.
My skin, and he's really good at it. He did piss me off at that moment.
The point I was trying to make was, like, you made the point where, okay, we're a dysfunctional family on the air. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily a comment on Sal in his real life. I see how he is with his kids, everything. He's a nice guy. I'm talking about in the context of this crazy show and trying to deflect getting fucked with and trying to desperately not be the focus of getting your balls broken on the air, which nobody wants to do. Sal can, he'll fucking deflect and throw it under the bus and throw it in a heartbeat. That's what I was talking about in the context of the show. Because I am friends with Sal. I couldn't be friends with someone who was really like a phony, backstabbing person in real life. But in the context of the show, we've all done it. The problem is Sal hasn't learned how to do it in a subtle way. Sal will be getting fucked with. He'll just go, Artie's fat, which is what John used to do. And then I'm like, what the fuck? I've deflected too. I try to be more subtle about it, and there's ways to do it. That's what I was talking about. Well, I like Sal.
Sorry, Artie. If you missed this little exchange, here's a quick clip of these two lovebirds.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But your opinions change on a dime.
But so do yours.
That might be one of the worst insults you can give someone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And instead of dealing with it, Sal just immediately attacks. That's his, which is probably the way to go as well. I mean, it's probably the way to go is don't defend, attack all the time.
Well, I'll give you an example. When I was in university, we had this amazing history course. I can't remember the prof's name, but it was like something about dark cultures of the night or something like that. And the guy brought in a lot of countercultural stuff. He made us watch The Devils by Ken Russell. I don't know how he had a copy of it, but it was literally a 35 millimeter print that he obtained somehow. He probably owned the fucking thing. And the uncut version, like completely way before it was available on DVD. And he showed us. He brought in a prostitute, like an older prostitute, to talk to the class, and he taught us about witchcraft and all this other stuff. So when the prostitute came in, I was very, very what's the word? It's just chauvinistic, I suppose. Very judgmental, saying like, hookers, like just really negative towards it. And then until she pointed out, look, it's a business like anything else. She talked like she was a Wall Street broker, like I'm providing a commodity. I set all this, I'm empowering myself, all this stuff. I mean, people can see both sides of it, and you can argue both sides of it, but she was so rational and she was so like put together. You couldn't really argue with her.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. You should have you could have just said, you're a hooker.
Right. But you could have and she said, it's been around since the dawn of time, which I've always known. And at the same time, it finally hit me. Like, she's right. This is never going away.
No, it's not. Never.
No. So the oldest, what did it say? The oldest profession in the book, and yeah, sure, it has to be. If it's not up there with delivery service, right? It is delivery service. It's delivery pussy.
I think it's a sad thing, but the people who are willing to do that for a living, will always exist, and the people who are willing to pay for it will always exist. Mm-hmm. And I don't think both people tend to be, have their issues, unfortunately. But those issues are part of the human condition. They'll always be there.
Yeah.
So I don't see it ever going away.
No way. And just like that, Sal's stupidity will also be like the bottom of the ocean, forever uncharted. It'll be vast.
Yeah, I think with Sal, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you kind of think I think he's kind of doomed from the start on this show. Yeah. And the reason why is the makeup of his personality. He's deeply insecure. Mm-hmm. So part of that insecurity means he's desperate to get laughs, and he'll do whatever it takes. And that usually means degrading himself. When he degrades himself, he gets abused for it, and they basically make fun of him for being an idiot. Yeah. And because of his insecurity looping back round again, he gets really irked by that and takes it really personally. So you can't have it both ways. That's the problem with Sal. You can't be this comic who's treated with respect while painting with your cock or whatever he was doing. You just can't have it both ways.
You can't walk down the street if you were, I don't know, let's see, like Yucko the Clown. The respect I suppose he got on the road, is this. The way Artie described it, he said he's got this disgusting suit that hasn't been washed in, years.
Smells of BO.
He's got a suitcase full of big black dildos that he uses as props. He goes, I look at his life and I wish, I say, thank God I didn't become a prop act or, choose to wear makeup that I'd have to put on every fucking night, like Kiss.
Yeah. Oh God. I look at the profession of comedy. It is brutal. It is. That is. I mean, and it's the same with music as well. You get tribute bands who are going out there and they're depressed. I remember being at a wedding one time, and there was an ABBA tribute band play. I think it was ABBA. This is like 20 years ago.
Okay.
And they're all dressed up like fucking ABBA. You know what I mean? And they're doing all the hits.
They look like the real thing, and it's not. It wasn't Bjorn again, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't Bjorn again. No, it was just a kind of a lower end one, you know. But they were decent. Like they were good musicians, and they did the whole thing. They could sing, and that was
all
great.
right.
And then I just remember at the end of the night, like, you know, as soon as they finished, I went out for a cigarette back when I was smoking, and two of them were there, the two boys, you know, and they were both smoking outside. They were just like in the thick Dublin accent, just going, "It's a fucking nightmare, man. I can't believe I'm still doing this shite." You know what I mean? And like just like throwing the end of a cigarette away, you know. And he's dressed up like an idiot, you know. He's dressed up, he's got this mop top wig on.
Yeah.
And you know, it does seem kind of grim. But that said, right, there's the other end of that, which is comedians who talk like what they're doing. They're like brain surgeons, or they're like just discovered the cure for cancer. I can't handle that either. Jerry Seinfeld is insufferable. He starts going on about, I'm walking a high wire act on stage. Oh, shut up. You're up telling jokes to an audience of sycophants. You're not fucking on the front line of anything.
Jerry,
you know what I mean?
climb a building one day, see how it feels.
Yeah, he's an asshole, that guy, Jerry Seinfeld.
He really
is. He really is.
He's flatly unlikable. It has nothing to do with, you know, minority races with big noses, guys. We're talking about a guy who singularly is
just an
obnoxious, arrogant, entitled piece of shit.
Yeah, he's the Prince Andrew of comedy, I think.
Oh,
I don't mean what he did. I mean the entitlement. Like I'll try and find it, right? But I remember seeing a clip from some comedian who met Jerry Seinfeld at something and knew him from, Jerry was they were working on something together, you know?
Yep.
And the guy went up to Jerry and said, "Oh, hi, I'm working on this with you," and blah, blah, blah. And Jerry Seinfeld didn't even look at him, but knew he was there.
Yeah.
Didn't even look at him, but just turned and walked away. Like, there's just no need for that at all. He's an absolute asshole. And it's one of those things where he's just still running on the fumes of that show from 20, 30 years ago, whatever.
Yep.
And it's, he's what has he done since, you know? I know lightning doesn't strike twice, but
he's 30 rapes away from being Bill Cosby. I mean, flatly unliked by the comedy community, you know, revered for the show, right? But ultimately hated because he's he's not an edgy comic in the slightest. He's got a horrible attitude, and he's an elitist. And we like even the fact, like the understanding that we know about him and his wife. Basically, he got her when she was on her honeymoon, essentially. And she dumped her fiance to go with Jerry Seinfeld, and we found out she's a fucking, Mike Bunny who fucked Bobcat Goldthwait, and
he
Jerry
hates
couldn't
him.
Take that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he hates that guy. I think Bobcat made some. Bobcat in the 90s went on TV and started talking about him fucking a high schooler and all that. And Jerry apparently, But look, that's what he did. He did. He dated a girl. He tried to marry her.
Yeah.
She was 17.
Yeah.
So, he can't blame anyone but himself.
But he was like 38 at the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's 70 now.
Oh,
which is just, but he's another one of these assholes who does this whole rant of, you can't say anything anymore. Things used to be great. The loony left have muzzled us geniuses. Otherwise we'd be really funny. It's like, no, now more than ever, you can say whatever you like. You can have a podcast. No one is stopping you from saying anything. Unless you say, it depends on who's in charge. But there really isn't any mass censorship now. There's never, in the 90s, there was a lot of censorship around different things. I suppose not. Misogyny was the order of the day back then for a lot of comedy, but not now. That's different. But at the same time, it's like he's just this, like, what was the joke he made? And he's claimed he got him into loads of trouble. And it was a terrible joke. It was about an iPhone or something. And it was, you're scrolling through it like a gay French king. Do you remember that? And he goes, and I got into trouble. It's just it's a bad joke. That's the problem, really. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not a funny line.
It's a throwaway. Like it's mildly amusing at best.
Yeah, but he made out that, I'm being cancelled because I used the word gay. No, I don't know.
Dude, talk to the guy who came up with Georgie Porgy pudding and pie jerked off in his girlfriend's eye. And by the way, guys, I keep saying it, but Dice has perfected. He has broken Instagram. He has perfected it.
Yeah.
He has rendered it into the nth degree of excellence when the way he uses it. And that's the one. If I ever get a chance to interview him, that's be the first thing I'm going to talk to him about. All the video he took of himself and people over the years. Like, what's he done with it? There must look like, John Doe's apartment in 7 if it was videotapes and 8mm or whatever instead of notebooks.
Yeah, it's one of those jokes that doesn't seem to get old. When he just walks up to people. And it's the fact that what makes it funnier is that this is the guy who sold out Madison Square Garden comedian.
Yes.
He was the Hart, whatever, what's your man's name? Hart? Kevin Hart or whatever of his day, or, whatever.
Yep.
And he's walking up to old age pensioners in an airport, and no nastiness or anything about it. It's just, he's acting totally confused.
Yes.
That he's waiting. That he's waiting for someone else, and it's pathetic because that's the part of the joke as well. People are just like walking away from, going, "Get away from me!"
Well, that's my favorite part. He's retarded. He goes up and goes, "You played with Elvis Costello, right? Yeah. I know you.
No, yeah, it's you, right? The face.
Look,
you
the
want a
white
picture
gloves,
of the face?
the white gloves, the suit, the tie.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah,
he's just. Yeah, like Jerry Seinfeld would never have he doesn't have the sense of humor, or the humility, or to first of all walk through an airport. Yeah, he'd probably people would recognize him because he still looks the same.
Yeah,
but he'd never do anything like that. Jerry Seinfeld is someone who, like I said, like Prince Andrew, he thinks regular people. He thinks people like us are just idiots and just horrible scum. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah. And what as opposed to someone like Chris Farley, who would approach a girl and he'd approach a girl with an orange and say, could you start my orange? Like, start the peel. Oh God, he was something else. Yeah,
that's brilliant.
That's not like yours, Sal. Sal, at one point you're ruthlessly ragging on someone from a place that comes from not just goofing.
Give me an example.
And a second later you're kissing ass.
Give me an example. I got $1 million on you.
Like the best thing now, you're overcompensating now because you're afraid about what you said in the past.
Do you believe that, Howard?
Yes.
Really? Absolutely. Of course you are.
Oh, that's fucked up, man.
You're kissing her ass extra now.
No, I use her as
something you said in the past.
Bullshit. I don't apologize for what I did in the past.
Yeah.
Well,
Artie's right. I mean, again, I put the big picture together, yeah, but
there's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Sal goes to Howard, and that's the final thing. So, I mean, Sal even does it to himself.
Yeah.
Like, do you agree with that, Howard? And Howard goes, yes, and Sal's like, I am an asshole.
Right. I don't even know where to go at that
point. It's true, though. When it comes to Howard, he was such a fawning brown noser.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it was unbelievable.
Well,
shameless.
I think that's where Richard Christie. I have a lot of more respect for him in that way of he did the song parodies brilliantly and very not innocently, but like within the parameters of K-Rock and regular radio. He didn't have to be super dirty. He could be really creative in a funny way, in a rough way. So that it didn't have to be perfect because it was funny, but he was a drummer. He'd toured. He's been outside the United States. He probably traveled to 30 countries. Knowing how big metal is in South America and Europe, and another place, maybe even Asia for all I know. And he's respected within his field, like within his industry, as a one of the best rock drummers of metal drummers of all time. And he's got this affable personality. He's got it made. Like likability, Johnny Carson used to say, is you got 80% of it made if they like you.
Yeah. Richard would have traveled, but that's having said that, when he was in Europe, I doubt he was walking through the Sistine Chapel, or going humpback whale watching in Scandinavia. No. I'd say he was just in the back of a van, but yeah, like he's he's far more likable, I guess. Sal, the thing with Sal is just that desperation. It's the insecurity and the desperation that drives him to do things that real questionable things, you know, and we know what they are. He's done loads of them, but the sucking up to bed, like doing the horse joke is the great example. Like, I mean, it was very entertaining for us, but he knew, like, he was so desperate to get that laugh. That he went there, you know, because he just thought his whole thing with the roast is
anything goes.
His whole thing, anything goes, yeah.
Right.
And he really did take that literally. And when you start going after the boss's wife, you should know that.
my favorite Artie line was one of those wrap-up shows we covered, where he made a joke about his kids have like Sal's kids have AIDS, and you know, and they're gay and stuff like that. It wasn't a particularly subtle joke, but he said later on, he goes, you know, I would never actually, you know, I never believed that his kids are, you know, gay. That would be an awful. If I ever knew they were gay, I'd never make that joke. As they're going into the next caller, Artie under his voice goes, God, I hope they're gay.
Oh God, yeah. Well, Artie had some moments that weren't great, you know. With there was moments with the high pitched mic where he went too far, like, you know. It was more anger than comedy, you know.
Yeah.
He was rattled.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to win on the show. That's it.
Whatever Howard says he's going to go to, and a guy like that, you know, can't be trusted.
Absolutely. Well, let's follow up on that conversation. Do you think you're overcompensating for Beth and being extra nice to her?
No, I mean, yesterday I think I made a valid point. You know, Howard's a big guy. He's a big celebrity, and he's the type of guy that can get somebody like Beth. And if you compare it to Ralph, it would be just the opposite. You know, comparing Beth to Ralph is like, you know, comparing AIDS to an Olympic athlete, you know?
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What an observation. What a time to be alive to hear it. You will never hear that on any of
No way.
Being spoken into a microphone on any other show. What did you say again? Comparing AIDS
comparing Ralph to Beth is like comparing an Olympic athlete to AIDS.
Doesn't even make sense.
No, it was just pure, like, you know, whatever, Long Island logic.
Well, what an analogy. Fantastic.
Brilliant.
No. Someone has to. God, I hope the tape is rolling.
Could you explain that, please?
No. Oh, yeah. Well, no, yeah.
The body of life.
You know, John, you're a brilliant host. Yeah, explain that, Sal.
I don't know. I'm comparing, like, really healthy, really
I want you
strong
to break
versus
down
weak,
what you just said.
Broken, you know, deathly, you know. It's like comparing, you know, shit to gold, you know. But at the same time, Ralph, you know, now that, like, how Artie knows me personally, I know Ralph personally, and I can see how Howard does like Ralph, because now it took 20 years, but off the air, Ralph is not too shabby socially.
That is absolutely
that stockbroker horse.
Stellar. Yeah, oh yeah, stellar. Because let's go back to listen to what he said. Well, don't go back, but you know what I mean. He said,
yeah.
It's like comparing something
gold to shit.
Broken and deathly,
yeah,
and gold to shit. And then he said he's not too shabby socially.
How easily could he have been, like, converted into thinking, you know, a second Holocaust would be a great idea?
Yeah,
like, you know,
easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, his kids would be the first in the camp, you know, just because, like, you know, he doesn't have that. I mean, the filter was one thing, but what he didn't understand when he got on the show, like, the show he was getting into in his mind was 10 years earlier. And he thought, that's where I'm going, even though he would have still been listening. He was still contributing. He was on the Sturtman Network, all that kind of stuff. And he didn't quite understand that the winds were changing, like the tides had shifted, and the stuff he was doing was no longer going to be kosher. And guys, the phone went off, and while I lost my train of thought, we're going to go right into it. So sorry.
I feel like whatever I'm saying right now, all eyes are on me, and I can't make a valid
point.
You're
even deflecting now because just let me explain it to you. The Beth situation.
Dr.
You had
Artie,
an issue. You had an issue with Beth, you know,
Right.
where you said something that was it was a rude thing to say about a girl. You bring her into the roast and
Right.
everything. And, you know, Beth was mad. Howard was clearly aggravated. And before
Sure.
that, you would email, "Oh, Beth, I love you," and these gushy emails. Then
not as gushy as you think.
you
but-
know you were very insecure after that. And
Sure.
So, okay. So don't you think now when Beth comes up, like in this situation, and a totally different subject, you do sort of go out of your way to say extra nice things about Beth to compensate for what you used to say?
Perhaps, but it doesn't. Regardless of that, you can't deny the fact of who she is. I mean, whether I say it or not, she's on every fucking magazine cover. So the truth is the truth.
But why, if you do know Ralph, you like Ralph, why is he?
What does that mean?
It means absolutely nothing. The truth is the truth. Sal may run for public office one day.
I love the way he says, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That's his kind of, you know, I'm listening, I'm composed, and then he'll immediately, within seconds, just fall apart and just be
Foot in
nasty. Yeah. Sure.
Bad.
He's not.
But then
Why
you
is
say
Ralph
that?
like
Well, I'm
that?
trying to make a comparison. That's all I was
But
doing.
okay, if you are comparing, I think
I'm
Beth is a great
saying
person.
if
I think
I had
Ralph
to
is a
make-
person. But why, when you compare the two, has Ralph become a piece of shit?
Okay, let me explain it to you, Benji. The thing is that yesterday we were discussing Howard's relationship with Ralph. Like, does Ralph warrant a relationship with Howard? You know? And I would say in the eyes of the big celebrity Howard Stern, you could see him with somebody like Beth. The guy's a billionaire. The guy is successful. The guy's famous. He clings on to a hot piece of ass like Beth. Then you got Ralph, a moochy guy who is annoying.
But you just said you
who's
got to know
obnoxious.
him and that you like him.
Right, but I'm doing a comparison on how the audience would portray those relationships and how it doesn't work.
I'm not the audience. I see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might be a dirtbag and he's scumbag, but I know him. Fucking hell! Like when I already threw the CD at Sal. Now I get it. I've always gotten it, and I wouldn't justify that type of, you know, that violence. But my God, I mean, I got wooden spoons launched at my head many times as a kid, and I'm thinking his mother just didn't do it enough.
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking hell!
It's not in sync with the audience.
Wait, what the audience would betray or what you'd betray?
What the audience betrays. Have you read the email, stupid? What's the matter with you? I mean, where have you been? Jesus. Artie, you asked that question out for 2 days. And
What are you saying? So Howard should have a young,
making a
hot
comparison.
girlfriend?
I'm making a comparison on where Howard stands and why he would be friends with Ralph versus Beth. And I said once you get to know Ralph personally, you can see how I'm not surprised that they do have a relationship.
I got to ask Artie.
Me neither. Ralph was gay.
No. Yeah, I'm not surprised either. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, there's no question. Sal was on, what's it called? Stern Fan Network, you know, doing whatever he could to wind up, you know, to take shots at, you know, whoever he needed to be to get attention on those boards.
And complimenting Sal as someone else anonymously.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like Sal. I've grown to like you, seriously.
Oh, right.
But you really don't think Sal would backstab someone off the show?
Never have.
In real life, like in a real life situation where, well, again, I don't work with you on Wall Street and everything, but I'd like to think no at this point. That might be naive, but in the context of the Stern Show, I think it's no holds barred. What do you give me a situation in life? Like, give me an example in life.
Well,
the level of because there's different levels of backstabbing.
Basically, what he does, you know, say something to your face,
right.
And then 2 minutes later, when you're gone, say something totally different
about friends and family members outside the show.
Yeah.
I guess he might do that. I guess.
You think I would do that on a personal level?
No, not on a. No, you know, not
Anything,
on a bad
first
level.
of all, it's not backstabbing, Benji, if it's on the air in front of 7 million people. It's never backstabbing. Backstabbing is behind somebody's back.
God.
Okay, that's right. As long as there's an audience to see it, it isn't backstabbing.
I love the way he's literally taking the word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it involves a knife on someone's back. I'm on the radio. It's not backstabbing.
Yeah. A2, Governale.
It reminds me of that time someone said to Joe Rogan, I saw a clip one time of Joe Rogan on his podcast, and someone said to him, "What's your writing process? How do you write, you know, a stand-up special?" Joe Rogan's like, he goes, well, I type, I can type. And as I'm typing, the words are coming out of my mind. And I just thought it was so funny. It was like someone, not the actual physics. He thought it was the physical process of typing.
Right, exactly. Well, you usually pick a Bic pen, a four-color Bic pen, and you start with green because green means go, right? Green.
The index finger, the opposable thumb.
That's right.
Grip the pen.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's deliberately done behind somebody's back.
No, but backstabbing, no, it's not. Talking behind somebody's back is backstabbing. They're feeling it, man. So that you say when they're not in the room, you may say it, no one will hear it, and fucking be, upset.
There's all levels of backstabbing. For example, like when I'm on the air, Richard, who I love dearly, might be giving Howard a lot of great notes. Right. Is that backstabbing? To a certain degree, but for the nature of the show. Right, that's the show. So that sums it up. If I break Gary's balls, is it backstabbing or is it for the show? It's for the show. I really admire and respect Gary.
That's also, by the way, an indictment, not an indictment, but more proof that during the course of the show, Howard can be fed anything from anybody about anything and pass it off as his own knowledge, like he's doing this on the fly or something.
Yeah, on that, what was it called, Maldred or whatever that.
Yeah, right. In their IM system.
Like, oh my God! Like, they're using these IT systems, and I work in IT and never heard of this thing.
Yeah, no, it was.
I heard of Lotus.
Called it. Originally, that name. First of all, I believe it's the name they called it because ages ago it was a Zappa name when they were coming up with names for people, and Maldred was something Zappa came up with on the show. And I think ever since then he got stuck on that fucking name and decided we're going to call this system Maldred because there's no way that actually is a system.
It's the worst name for a laser sharp cutting edge right IM messaging. You know what I mean? But Sal is great there with the semantics. He loves that, tying himself up in knots.
Hence, hence why this episode is going to be called Tales from the Pittzeria, Part 1.
Yeah. But all this, backstabbing. I didn't have a knife. No one's back was involved,
Right.
It's like I didn't cut off my nose to spite my face.
Right.
Technically.
Yeah.
Bring in friends of yours, do you think would have examples of you in real life of you backstabbing them?
Well, I couldn't find any, but we could bring all the friends. I mean, this is an open solicitation to people out there who I've grown up with. If you feel I've ever backstabbed you, go ahead. But that's just not my character.
All right,
Making fun of somebody on the show who's been made fun of for 20 years, Gary Delabate, is far from taking somebody and, abusing their trust.
So what I'm...
Go ahead, Ben.
Like, off the air, you'll tell Gary, I'm just fucking around.
I said it on the air yesterday, too.
Occasionally you do that. But usually you'll do it on there, give them shit, then off there say, hey, that was just a joke.
Right.
Typical John move, they said, which is exactly what that was. They did it. I can't remember there was a bunch of times where it happened, but I think was it you and I that covered the Sal's comedy coach, or was that me and Bob perhaps?
It wasn't me.
All right. Well, either way, he goes on and he just starts kind of like, I don't have a comedy coach. And then Gary says something like, welcome to the Howard Stern show, jackass. And it was the perfect sort of deflection off, like when Gary fucked up something and he put it on to Sal. And it was a perfect microcosm of how the show worked best when people deflected and it went into a whole other direction.
Yeah, and that kind of fighting and craven aggression doesn't exist anymore, I don't think.
No, I think certainly not on this show.
It's a young man's game, when you got to have young guys in their 20s and 30s, early 30s maybe at a push.
Yeah.
Or
be
brains aren't fully
developed. Or be a very bitter 50-something-year-old with an axe to grind.
Yeah, like I was watching something the other day. It is funny. Like there's a guy who actually, I shouldn't say, but he lives near here, and I see him walking every morning when I'm walking my kid to school. I see him, and he's about 48, 49, but he's dressed like a 21-year-old.
Oh God!
And he's got the spiky peroxide blonde hair, but it's like he's starting to lose it.
Oh,
and he wears like the young trainers and ripped jeans and these like trendy like glasses. It's weird, and it's such a bad look, And I think I saw that recently with these old guys. Oh, who was it? That podcast? Who's the guy who works on some terrible podcast, but his producer is 52 and has all the neck sleeve tats and blah blah. But he's getting wrinkly and he's getting like, what's going to happen, Phil, to these people when they get old? You know, like,
well, when you can't pass as a hipster anymore, you're actually just like waiting for your tombstone to be etched out.
Yeah. Oh,
I went to, when it's funny you mentioned that. When I got my last tattoo done, and again, guys, all my tattoos get covered by a T-shirt. Basically, I never ever wanted to have full sleeve tats like I was some kind of half-ass yakuza. And because I still believe, like at work, the professional, you got to put forth a professional thing. So if I'm wearing a polo shirt, I don't want anybody to see that crap. And so I talked to the guy at the parlor. I said, "How many sleeve tats do you actually do? Like in a random, like how many? What's the percentage?" He said, of people that want that shit. He said, probably a good 40%. Like the bread and butter is, things on the ankle, things on the thigh, whatever, and hip, belly, all this kind of weird shit. Yeah. And he said very rarely on the face, but, neck, shoulders, all that stuff. But he says most of the guys that want it don't need it. They shouldn't get it. And he goes, but they want it anyway.
Yeah, well, that's been my thing with tattoos on those sleeve tattoos. Because when I look at them and I look at this shit, especially these, stupid footballers, you see them going around, and these guys can barely probably write their own name, let alone think up the words to be written on their arms. Now, I always feel that when I look at them, like I'll give you an example. When I was in school, like a fella got a tattoo on his arm, and it was Chinese lettering, right?
Right.
And this is how stupid this guy was. And one guy went up to the class and said, "What's the tattoo?" And he goes, "It's Chinese writing." And your man goes, "Yeah, I know it's Chinese writing, but what does it say?" He goes, "It's Chinese writing, you fucking..." That's what he didn't know.
Fantastic. Well, a lot of times I'm sure a lot of times I think it's just, "Thank you, stupid white man."
Yeah. Fuck you, prick. Yeah. That's probably what it said. Yeah. I don't know, something horrible. But like, I always feel with these. Yeah, I always feel with these sleeve tattoos. Yeah. That it's about having the sleeve tattoo, not what the tattoos. They're probably just thinking of any old stuff.
Yeah.
To throw on their arms to get the sleeve look. Yeah. So I can imagine them sitting in this expensive tattoo parlor, like leafing through a cat, like, "Oh, I want that," and then throw that there. And
right. Yeah. It's anyway, what you're talking about actually brings to mind, like, when you get to a certain age, and Dad and I used to talk about this all the time. Rest in peace, Dad. But he said, when there's two kinds of people no one gives a shit about what they dress like: little kids and old men. So when you get to a certain age, you don't worry about the name brand stuff, and I certainly don't. I went to there's a place in Canada called Winners, which is ironic because it's, the people shop there are mostly losers, but they sell end of season shit for quite a big discount, but it's all brand new. Like, none of it's been used. Clothing, you name it, shoes. And I looked at the stuff and I'm like, if I was 25, I wouldn't be caught dead here. But now that I'm older, God, bring it on.
Yeah. Well, I have a great example of that from 2 weeks ago. I was down visiting in-laws, and we were in this little small town in the centre of Ireland, and it started raining. And it was down for a few hours, and we were going to this thing, and I just said, "I need to get a coat." I didn't bring a coat. And I went to this place, Dunn Stores, which is a thrift, like, cheap place. And I literally just walked in and just, like, I was in and out of there in like 4 minutes. I just saw this kind of slightly kind of, like a knockoff of a North Face or something, little blue thing. €25. I said, "Oh,
fuck's sake.
25. And I wore it this morning. And look, I'd probably get a few months out of it. And I buy these tops here in like this place, Primark. They're £12.
Yeah.
And I wear them 15 times for 6 months. And when they wear, I just buy a new one. Like,
right. Well,
I don't know.
Those days are over, man.
Yeah. The days of having design, like name stuff it's long gone for me. That's the stuff you do when you're younger and you're on the dating scene, or you've got peers and you're out all the time. You don't do it when you get older. You don't care.
Well, I remember this one girl. She was interested. I wasn't interested. She was nice blonde from Vancouver. I arrived in town and I had this Kenneth Cole jacket. I didn't know who the fuck Kenneth Cole was. I just liked the jacket, so I bought it. And she goes, I knew you were special when I saw that Kenneth Cole jacket." I go, "Who is he?"
You didn't know.
I go, I was no fashion plate. I was all about like if I liked it, that was fine. But there was no. I mean, it was some people might say, well, of course you knew what it was, or some kind of designer. Yeah, but who the fuck was he? Like for all I knew, it was a woman's jacket that I wore. So, you know, but
he wasn't a household name in your house.
No, certainly not. And Dad would have been like, Jesus Christ, if it isn't from Sears, don't wear it, you know. So next, we'll continue, guys. Sorry for the digression, but we're talking Gen X fashion wear talk for men.
Well,
Ronnie, get on a mic.
Typical stuttering John routine.
What do you mean?
John used to do the same thing. He would throw you under the bus totally, and then when you walk out the studio door, he'd be standing there waiting for you going, you know, it's just for the A, man. You know, I love you, man. I love you.
Well, Ronnie, what do you want us to do? Lay down rose petals and fucking, you know,
no, man,
adjust
you're
your
a
tampon?
typical salesman, man. You're a phony.
How am I a phony? Because so is Will a phony
you're
when
a phony. You're
is Will a phony when he feeds lines in on you behind your back? Or is Richard a phony to me when he does it to me? Or when I do it to Richard?
Yeah, but
it's the nature of the show.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I mean. You're a fucking, you know, that's all your life is to show you have no other life.
So what?
It's just
you apparently do have another life.
Everything is just your show.
The problem with you is that you abuse the show.
It's the Sal Governale show.
You abuse the show for your personal life. My life is full.
Ronnie might be a lot of things, but he's often entertaining.
He is, yeah, and he's calling it as it is there.
Yes.
I mean, you can't disagree with anything he's saying.
No.
Sal was craven, desperate bastard who would do anything to get Howard laughing. Shuley was the same.
Yeah.
The thing was, Sal was funnier than Shuley.
Yes.
And then Sal always had enough goodwill with the fans, and you know, he was popular enough that he was kind of protected in that way, I think.
Well, the thing is, Sal wasn't. The difference between Shuley and Sal wasn't specifically calculated as a dummy. He wasn't. Nothing he did was really that calculated outside of how can I, you know, get my bit on the air. How can I sidewind my way out of this? But he wasn't smart enough. Shuley comes off as conniving. Like almost every moment you can almost every instance, there's the likability factor is far lower than it is for Sal, and that carries a lot of weight as well.
Yeah, and I just always go back to that Shuley audition, the Hurricane Sandy, when he clearly, it was so obvious that he saw Tim having an argument with someone in a hotel, and said, yoink, I'm going to bring that up. Howard might like that. Howard might like that, but also at the same time, you're going to undermine your own position in the organization, because Tim Sabian's going to look at you and go, you're a piece of shit. And so it was, and he did that. It was just a total miscalculation, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. And the other thing was, if like Stuttering John counted on Howard's protection for the longest time while he still stayed on the show, but he wasn't making that kind like much money to you know, for the sake of earning everybody's ire, you know, behind the scenes. So it wasn't worth it for him, except that he parlayed it into a better gig, which we'll discuss the second part of the show. However, with Shuley, I mean, he wasn't getting any more money out of throwing some of these people under the bus.
No.
Like it was all in the vain hope of becoming the Artie part of the Artie chair, which once Artie left, it never existed anymore.
I don't think it was never going to work, because the idea that when Artie came in and sat in after Jackie left, he came as an unknown entity with a wealth of stories. Even though he was only in showbiz, he had so many stories. He had the Coke, that famous pig Coke story, all these things. Shuley came in with nothing, because we'd heard everything.
Right.
We'd heard about him pushing elderly people in Vegas, and as funny as that is, and we'd heard the airplane joke. I don't know what he was telling about it. But
we've heard it as much as we've heard the walking to St. Louis joke from Artie.
Yeah, so that was his problem. He needed new material and fast, and the material he got was basically throwing other people under the bus, wasn't it?
Someone recently brought up my Photoshop of the shittiest airplane story ever told. On the Reddit threads, and I kept thinking it's one. We have to use it in a show at some point, but we're not going to be doing Shuley stuff for a while, guys, if ever. But if we do, it'll be related to him being a fucking weasel. That's for certain.
Before we move on, what is the latest with our friend Shaul?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
I've completely tuned out of it. I'm still on the, Shuli's Anonymous and the, or whatever it's called, Shuli Anonymous and the Dabbleverse thing. I still get notifications on Reddit, but I don't peruse it because I know for a fact that his Patreon's down to like 250 people, and he's still doing shows, but I don't know. There's a lawsuit going. Supposedly Stuttering John is suing who are these podcasts, and he's going to dox people. I don't know. It's just it's sort of embers now.
It's been like that for a long time. It's like a really slow degenerative disease.
Yeah,
it's just slow.
it's Richard Pryor at the end of his life when he couldn't speak. He just looked like. Poor fucker. They wheeled him to some benefit. He couldn't do anything, and it was the saddest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
No.
They shouldn't have done that.
No.
Focused on this fucking show. You're abusing it for your personal life with scores and inviting interns to parties.
Paid by scores.
Yeah, exactly. Okay? And if it wasn't for this position you have, you wouldn't be paid by scores. You would be a laughable old man with bifocals and a belly shirt.
I don't know where you get with the fucking bifocals. That's why they're not bifocals.
You have these cheesy J-Lo fucking glasses that you're wearing. What are you talking about? You're the one who abused the show for your own personal gain.
And look at you wearing fucking shirts that everybody sends you in the mail.
So what?
That's what you wear.
At least they fit me, you fucking midget. Fuck you.
Fuck you, asshole.
Ronnie, you two go at it quite a bit. I know sometimes you're joking around, but
Sal, I'll be waiting outside the door. You're my man.
No, it seems like there's real malice behind what you say sometimes. Like, do you like Sal as a person? Do you like Sal?
I fucking don't like him at all.
He's foolish.
It's amazing listening to that because they're so aggressive in the fuck you piece of shit, you fucking fat cunt,
Yeah.
To me, that's amazing because when you watch like fights on YouTube or whatever, like these clips of people fighting, it's always like, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's all about the physical confrontation. The way they're talking is way more confrontational than the way actual fights usually start. Like, they're really going at it there.
Well, Sal goes vicious. His default is to go viciously after somebody and like to throw, and ultimately he's saying things he can't take back. And what Ronnie's doing is it's more, I guess I'm going to say playful, even though he's throwing some truth bombs there, but it's more effective because he's not saying anything that's going to get him in trouble later. Ronnie is, but Sal is.
No. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And he's not going to endear himself to anybody in Ronnie, and so Ronnie's certainly going to be like not Team Sal, except he understands that he's pushing Sal's buttons. That's what's saving Sal from any kind of real ramifications here. Ronnie knows he's getting the better of him because he's gotten Sal to react like that.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't like him. He's a phony.
Well, he thinks you're not telling the truth.
He's not. He's a fucking phony.
See, and this is how it is. So now tomorrow,
and everybody here knows.
Okay. So today, when you ask me if I'm coming to the block party, you don't like me?
Dude, I invited everybody.
Okay, so you're a phony, Ronnie.
I invited a lot of people I don't like.
No, bullshit. You're a phony. You invited me to your block party. You want to know if my wife is coming?
You would have cried if I didn't invite you.
No, I wouldn't have.
Oh, come on. You cry now every time you don't get invited to a party at Scorch.
Say what you like about Ronnie. He is not a phony. What you see is absolutely what you get.
No, yeah, 100%. He over several instances proved that he is a man of integrity when it comes to, being honest, keeping your word.
Yep.
Now, he's not a man of taste.
No.
But he's a man of integrity. Playboy mud flaps.
He's not a man of wealth and taste.
Whenever you hear Playboy and mud flaps in the same sentence, it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt memorabilia. That's pretty much where it ends. Yeah.
See, you got to go talk to Lonnie for me.
So when it gets,
I got to get invited to the next party.
I'm banned from Scores.
Yeah. Well, how you coming to Isaac's party?
I have no idea. I have to talk to you about it. But the thing is, you know what?
Now you got to come and beg me.
No, I'm not going to beg you. I haven't said a fucking word to you about it. Not
one
word.
Will. You'll beg
but
me.
You're a phony because today you talked about the block party. If you think I'm a phony, don't invite me.
Okay, no.
But all of a sudden
you're
now,
uninvited.
Apparently, if you break balls on the fucking show,
we want your wife to come.
Shut up.
Yeah, we want to sit and drink with her, man. She's fun when she's drunk.
I'm not the one who said. I'm not the one who said. Take a look at my daughter-in-law. What a set of tits on her.
She's fun when she's
drunk. Right in front of your grandchildren. You creepy.
She's fun when she's drunk, man.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we covered that. I think.
Yeah, we did.
That was the part.
Supposedly, Ronnie said that about his daughter-in-law. Something like, look at the tits on her, or something like that. Fucking hell, nasty grandpa.
Yeah.
But Ronnie needling him about his wife though is actually getting undersells, skin for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The emotional friend.
Yeah. And actually, the one thing we may have to cover sometime is Christine calling into the show and giving Ralph shit and giving Howard shit.
About Howard's clothes.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Fantastic.
She destroyed him.
Completely. And had she had more time, Howard would have been in the fetal position. Fucking hell.
She was angry.
Yeah.
She was angry that day.
Take a look at my daughter-in-law's tits right in front of his grandchild.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
That's disgusting. You make me sick.
Hey,
you're a perfect creep. You know what? I'd rather be a phony and not your friend.
Says the guy who sniffed underage girls' panties.
Yeah, 14-year-olds underwear.
Fucking hell. Christ that's another one to cover. Jeez, I got to write these all down.
Then be the person that you are, because you are fucking disgusting.
Me?
Slimy piece
you
of
go
shit.
in somebody's
To
house
do
and
that
open...
in front of your daughter-in-law, in front of your
you
grandchildren.
You went in somebody's house
My
and
God,
opened your underwear drawer.
Why don't you take out your cock and bang it on your grandchild's forehead while you're at it? You creepy slime bag. You make me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, you
Go ahead. Hey, Jason, are you being a phony right now? Hey, Jason, hold on.
You put your kids on the Sybian.
Hey, Jason, are you being a phony right now?
Sybian.
That's right, I did. Because I'm proud of the Sybian. I'm proud of the show.
Oh my God. He put his 12-year-old son on the Sybian.
Something like that, yeah. Or maybe younger, like 8 or something. God.
Oh my.
I don't know how he would clean that fucking thing.
Oh, bring your kid to work day. Was that what it was?
Maybe. Yeah. Put your kid on the Sybian work day.
Putting, as Riley, I always remember what Riley said, putting whores on machines. He talked about.
We're due for a Riley episode soon, dude.
I do it again. I'll put my kids in a fucking tickle chair. I don't give a shit. They're my fucking kids and they love it.
I'm proud of the Sybian.
That Sybian put my kids through college. What are you doing for the show? You're fondling some girls' kids at scores.
Kids.
Go fuck yourself.
They're my fucking kids. Look how he talks about
I fucked for them.
Nice.
Oh yeah, but I'm not the one who's just. Hey, take a look at my daughter-in-law's titties.
Yeah, so what's wrong with that?
It's embarrassing. It's degrading. It's disgusting.
And oh my
Fuck
God,
you and your block party.
Black here.
I wouldn't want to go near there.
Shit!
Send that guy down from Dateline to the block party.
Come on, Artie, write me a good one, please.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. So, hey, well, look at this. Artie and Jason are sending Ronnie notes. They're being phony. Hey, look at those two phonies writing notes.
I thought it was backstabbing. I thought that.
Yeah, backstabbing, phony.
I like it being phony.
Ronnie, what do you what do you want to say next?
Go ahead.
Yes, that's right. You sniffed Mutt's Mutt's daughter's panties. You went in her fucking drawer. You went in her fucking drawer. That was what I was saying before, you asshole.
Good one.
Ronnie,
all right, anybody
jerked
off
to his jerked off to his aunt in the back. Your aunt.
Right, there you go.
There you go. That's not being a pervert, huh?
What a lot of people were thinking was it wasn't something Sal did as a kid. He did it as an adult to hide in the closet drawer and closet and then sneak it, like perv on people taking a piss.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, we're not dealing with a higher class of people at this show. Let's just say that.
Well, my audience is very educated.
My audience are, doctors, plumbers, and strippers.
Is that what he said?
Someone on the O'Reilly show, I seem to remember, he made a joke first. He goes, my audience is strippers, whores, and, whatever, miscreants or something like that. He never used that word. And it was meant to be like, okay, I'm making a joke of it. No, we have a very intelligent audience. No, not really.
No, look at us.
Look at these two titans of intellect going at it.
Yeah, literally pulling this shit apart.
Do you remember Ronnie's The Auto Show?
Oh, that was the great. We have to cover that.
When JD decided it was the most boringest show ever.
But the funniest thing about that was when they play it back and you can hear just this, Ronnie's like, yeah, so what's the latest with getting credit for a car? And he's like, well, we have inventory going through to, we're finding that a lot of banks are not able to provide credit. It just goes on and on.
And the big thing was, what's your problem? Like, he decided to make that his tagline.
That was his, that was fucking hell. Then we gotta cover that.
See if we can find that somewhere.
Right. That's not disgusting.
But apparently now, who's a phony now? Who's the one? These guys, are they being phonies right now? So when I leave now, will Jason say, Sal?
They can't wait to gang up on you, man.
Dick licker. When I leave this room, will Jason say, hey, Sal, I'm sorry for giving Ronnie that joke? No, he wouldn't say that, and I wouldn't expect him to say that, because that is the nature of the show.
But that's what you do. That's what we just said that you do.
Right, and I don't apologize about it. So what?
You do.
Yeah, he's running out of road here. Running out of road. Fucking amazing.
He's playing chicken against himself and losing.
He really is, yeah.
Oh, Christ.
No, I don't.
You do.
No, not to the degree. I'll tell you why I do apologize. I apologize. I apologize because I'm a good guy and I feel bad about it.
You're not a good guy.
I feel bad about
You're
it
not
sometimes.
a good guy.
Yes, I am.
You're a
Sal,
salesman.
I don't care.
Sal, let me give you an example.
It's a brilliant study in bullshitting right now.
Already like a jazz musician, like he's like Miles, laying back, let the guitarist have his way, and then come right back in with the flugelhorn.
One line, yeah.
Like you mess with Gary all day. You do the masks, the dances, the whole 9 yards,
and I'll continue
and then
to do it.
And then in the next breath, you're talking about what a great producer he is.
And
how
he
fantastic
is. You can't
he
deny it. Howard calls me an asshole every day, and then in another breath he goes, but he does a great job, and I love him.
Okay, well, we'll stop that one right there. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you get the dedication for this episode. What's it? Did you think of anything for this one?
Oh God, you anything in mind?
Because we're dealing with like immense bullshit, and we're dealing with Sal. But I was also thinking the whole Italian Pittzeria connection. I was thinking maybe like Louis Prima and Kaylee Smith, something from the live Vegas shows, like Hey Boy, Hey Girl, something like that, or Angelina Zuma Zuma Zuma.
And that's it. I mean, Sal's doing a show, isn't he? He's doing the live.
Yep.
He's doing a live Vegas style show.
Yep.
So.
He seems to revel in it, but he's also got the attitude like he doesn't get embarrassed by it in the slightest, so he'll actually thrive in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, he certainly use the income anyway. I hope it goes well with Billy Mira.
Yeah. So we'll end this one with Louis Prima, guys, and then we'll finish up with part 2 pretty soon. So from Len and myself and everybody else at QF, have a good one. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.
If you went through the most incredible metamorphosis and somehow transformed yourself into the best person you're capable of being, and you and Lisa G, after that metamorphosis took place, were on the top floor of a burning building, and it's just you two, and God told Lisa, I will give you the ability to fly if you kiss John the Stutterer, she would say no.
I know.
Well,